Mic on. Display audio off. Too much of that. Okay. Hoorah. Give me a minute for people to fall in, as it were. Give me a minute for people to fall in, as it were. Okay. All right, I have no idea who's here, if anybody. I'm going to wait it out a little bit. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Is there anybody out there? All right, hey, I'm gonna bring my pickup up just a little bit. Let's take a quick look at my settings. Go sound. It's pretty good. Okay, people, that looks pretty good. Oh my God, I touched my face. It's okay, I washed my hands. I did the dishes a little while ago, so it's all good. Okay. I'm gonna take that up just a little bit. Okay. Let me take that up just a little bit. How's that looking? Okay. Hello, Tam. Glad you're here. That's perfectly fine. I forget any. Okay, my video device is actually okay. Yeah, it is actually that messed up. Okay, never mind. That's the size I get. Okay. All right. Well, while it waits, I'm going to pull in some a drum. And make a little noise. And see, maybe not Mr. Jimbei. Maybe an Ashiko, perhaps something a little quieter. Yeah. So here's my friend. Here's my goon friend. Wow. Okay. Plenty of pickup. Let's cut back a little bit. There we go. Okay. Anybody remembers my Jimbei with this really high sound? This is a different drum. This is an Ashiko from a little bit further north, from Malinke area. Not quite like the Nigerian drums. And okay, so just a little bit of heartbeat to loosen y'all up. Anybody's welcome. I'm going to play a 2/4 heartbeat with a little bit of flourishing. Drummers, hey Dietrich, probably realize that a 2/4 heartbeat is mostly silence. You've got 2 beats, then 2 silence. So a 2/4 heartbeat is 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Now what I'm doing here is adding a little bit of fill-in accent just to give it some flavor. Dropping in some extra notes around and sometimes between those, that 1-2 sound. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Underneath there is that 2/4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, before we talk a little bit about that, so that's basically your 2/4 rhythm. Okay, and a lot of common rhythms have the 2/4 underneath, particularly drum rhythms that are used in ritual and ceremony. And I sometimes tease my drum students with the most difficult rhythm on the planet only has 2 notes, and that's a 2/8 heartbeat. So this is a 2/4 heartbeat. So there's 4 counts: 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And a 2/4 heartbeat is bomb, bomb, 3, 4, boom, boom, 3, 4, boom, boom, 3, front center, boom, boom, 3, 4, boom, boom, 3, 4, boom, boom, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 4. Now what you do it the rest of the time, as I just demonstrated, you can do largely whatever you like. Hey, Miss Cheryl. Hello, Xavier. Nicole. Thank you for falling in. I want to talk a little bit about drums. Now, last week I mostly played my Jimbei, and a little bit on Little Big Mouth back there. That's my smaller taiko. Maybe next week or the week after we'll actually do a thing about taiko in general. But this drum is an Ashiko. Now, Ashiko is less common than the granddaddy of the drum circle drums, the Jimbei. Jimbei is from all over West Africa, particularly from Guinea. You'll also see them in Malinke style all the way down to Nigeria. These are typically West African style drums. This is a traditional Jimbei. He's carved out of a tree. So you can see how it's been carved out, and he weighs about 30 pounds. They're typically covered with goat skin. Okay, very thin. Hey, Nicole. A very thin, very high, very vibey type of a head. Okay. And this varies from American and Latin percussion instruments like the conga, timbal, quinto. Those are typically cowhide, and the reason for that is that when African slaves were brought to the Caribbean across Central America, they didn't bring their instruments with them. They came pretty much naked, and they discovered on the docks of the Caribbean and in Florida on the Carolina coast things like beer barrels and nail kegs and wine barrels and basically a lot of barrels that got used for transporting cargo. They didn't have goats per se, but there was a fair amount of cows around, and so basically they would stretch a cowhide over these barrels to make reasonable analogs, and then the Spanish music that was around them also, because a lot of the Caribbean was Spanish, influenced the African sound, and therefore you got our African you get our Afro-Caribbean percussion or Latin percussion, and that became a different its own category, separate from African, from more African derived. I'm not going to say this is pure African drumming here in the States because it's not. We've done our own thing with it since the 50s, but it's still good stuff. But this is why Latin drums look and sound different than African style drums. Okay. All right, this drum is an Ashiko. Okay, got a strap here so I can tote them around. Ashiko is more Malinke style drum from Mali, and that part of West Africa. And again, goat skin hide, like my Jimbei. Except this cone style is typically a stave style drum. Staves basically, if I can get some light in there. No, I'm not going to get any light in there. Let's maybe. Okay. And you can see. Let's get close. You can see the light dark a little bit better close up. So it's made of staves like a barrel glued together. Therefore, this drum is much lighter than my Jimbei. So this is an easier drum for me to carry around and for me to walk with. So the strap. I didn't put a strap on my Jimbei at the moment. Hello. Oh, message. Gia, Sue, Wrench. Okay, that's got to be a Facebook name. Welcome to the stream. We've been talking a little bit about drums. I have one other drum. I've actually got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 drums within arm's reach of me here at my workstation. That's normal, right? Let's move on. Okay, this is a frame. This is a frame drum. It's a different sound. And frame drum is the oldest of the skin style drums. The oldest drums are typically log drums. that go all the way back to the African subcontinent when, you know, when we climbed out of trees and decided to beat on things. Hey, Rochelle. And the first frame drums, and it's also typically, okay, very good. And these are commonly also played by women. They would call it a tambor or a tam in the Middle East, and they grew out of Central Africa, North Africa particularly, all through the Middle East. They predate doumbeks, and in many places they be played by hand. Okay, so this is the older style. It's played by the hand and the rim. Now I can also play it with a stick. This is soft. Here's a soft beater. Gives a softer sound. And a stiff native style beater, which gives a harder, sharper noise. Now, this is an unusual frame drum, and in fact, I will be right back. Give me just a second. I meant to have something at hand that I don't. Okay, I'm back. All right. This is not your typical frame drum. This is a Roosbeck. It's from this is an Irish frame drum. It's called a baran. And what characterizes the baran is that in the back there'll either be a cross or a single bar or a T-bar. And what this does is allow you to put your hand inside the drum and actually mute it down. And why would you want to do that? You want your drum to sing. Well, drums have different voices and different sounds. Oh, look at that. It's backlit. That's kind of cool. Like I have one of my other lamp is over there. And so you would play that with one of these guys. These are called tippers. Okay. Elk is an excellent skin for single-sided frame drums. Elk, also buffalo. Sometimes they use horsehide, but elk is one of the better ones. And I have a medicine drum that's cowhide, and he's pretty good except when he gets damp, and then he starts to sound, and then he sounds like basically sack potatoes. Okay, so this is a tipper. Okay, and it's a double-ended stick. This one has a grip notch. Here's a different style. Here's a different style one. That's just has the knobby end and a smooth center. And because the baran is played somewhat differently, you have your hand inside to take the note down. So if you hear, and that's what gives you your distinctive Irish, Celtic, Scots, and Gaelic sound. But as we were talking before about heartbeat rhythms, you can still play a perfectly legit heartbeat on a baran. 3, or in the native. And the advantage of frame drums is they tend to be lighter and more portable than your tall African style drums. Wow, that was a heck of a color shift. What happened there? I think my lamp shift. Okay, and so you would have and so you'd be playing something on the order of. I'm going to get an overlay, and then show you. Now, last week for Shango's Gate, we covered a number of these heartbeats that went with drum songs, and I'm going to show you the structures. I have some overlays prepared. Okay, that. Transition. There it is. Okay. Now, if you look at the diagram, you see over here you've got two basses, bass, and then a lot of open space, and then two tones toward the end that are quite close together. And so you're looking. And sometimes it's hard to look at a pattern and gather what it sounds like. So I'm going to play that. So you've got 1, 2, and 4, 1, 2, 3, 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 and 4. So you're only filling in a little bit of extra sound at the back half of the 4 count. 1, 2, 1, 2, and 4. 1, 2, and 4. 1, 2, and 4. And if you remember, there was a short song that went with that. Sing through my voice, play. Yes, I am. So, okay. So my left is your right. Okay. Which is cool for video, because here, if I'm streaming and I'm playing my lead with my left, that'll match up with your right, which is perfectly fine. However, I want to point out that when you want to get good at this, you want to get reasonably ambidextrous. Particularly if you're playing a 6 count, something with a 3 or a 6 count, and you want to be alternating hands. Like there's an African song I rather like from Olatunji called Ajaja, which is on a 6. Okay, and so it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So something you can practice out in the world. I wasn't going to talk about 6s. I think I'll save that for next week or the week after. But it's basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, placing the bass on the 1 and the 3. We should probably get rid of that diagram because it'll confuse you. But it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, Eric, I can't hear you, but I can feel the pulse coming through the ether. Remember, LiveStream is one way, so I don't see what's coming in. If we remove this to Zoom, lag would kill us. And in fact, what I'm seeing now, I won't see on my monitor coming back over Facebook or on YouTube for about another 5 or 6, maybe 10 seconds. So it's a little complicated. It's a little bit complicated. The technology is very interesting. Actually, it's shown a couple of technologies out there that are intended for remote performance, where you have a bunch of musicians that are all separated and they're all playing online. They have a bass track that they're using for their timing. This, of course, depends on a lot of faith and rehearsal. And essentially, all these streams will feed in to one central location where an engineer and the service is actually buffering them and syncing them up and then sending them out as a single stream to whatever audience they have. But they can't hear each other and they can't hear the feedback, because otherwise it throws them completely off. And that requires a sound engineer and a computer technician, and it's very expensive. It's meant for professionals. But wow, be cool. That's a cool thing just to think about. Outside my budget. Okay. Now I'm going to show enough. I'm going to basically bring out the some of the other patterns. Okay, let's transition that one. Okay, I'm basically going to show the. It is complicated. It is hellishly complicated. It's also costly. Right now, the tools I'm using, for those of you who are geeky, I'm broadcasting with an encoder called OBS. It's an open source video encoder. It allows me to do this cool stuff like show you pictures and put diagrams on the screen. That's going to a service called Caster, and it's basically taking my stream and sending it to YouTube and to Facebook at the same time. Now, it's getting to people at slightly different times depending on whether you're on a phone, a tablet, dial-up, cable, DSL. You're all getting this at slightly different times, but it's a way of going out there. I could, of course, stream directly to Facebook. Facebook's algorithms are kind of designed for voice, and the drumming sounds like I'm beating on the side of a milk crate, which I don't like. So I'm using this method. Gets better sound to you guys, and I can do more cool things in terms of showing you stuff. Now that beat there, I'm going to switch drums just to switch drums. Nothing because I can. I'm going to go on my Jimbei, and this is the pattern for Behold. Now again, this is based on the heartbeat. So then again, you see your two bass tones, bass on the 1 and 2. And then also tones on the 3 and 4, and there's another tone in there. There's a tone between the two basses. So what you have is kind of a 3-3. Okay, you've got 1 2 3 space 1 2 3 space 1 2 3. So 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 4 and so. When I'm going to play the heartbeat, then I'm going to play the full pattern and the heartbeat again. So you'll hear, I'm going to alternate. So you'll hear how they fill in. Three, four, dum, dum, 3, 4. Bass to bass, dum, dum, dum. 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 Okay, so you get to see how that heartbeat is still sitting under that pattern. That goes with a song by Abby Spinner called Behold. Oh, I meant to point out. Now, I want to point out something that makes me crazy with the beginners. Is there's a tendency for people when they're first learning to drum, when they play their tones, is sticking to the drum like it's Velcro. Okay. You can do that. That's okay. But to make a more resonant, interesting sound, you want to come off the drum like it's a trampoline or a hot stove top. As opposed to now you can make a muffled tone or slap if you want to. Okay, you can make that sound. But do it when you want to, not because you have bad technique, but because you're doing it on purpose. So in this rhythm, if you notice that last tone, I put a small underline in there. That's a muffled tone, even though it's bigger. All the small T's mean that they're quiet. Okay, so you got so gun go gun go 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 gun go gun go go gun go go go. So you have bass tone bass bass tone 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 bass tone bass bass tone tone tone. Okay. Now and basically just make that last tone muffy. Just leave your hand on the drum. Make sure to take it off when you start over the pattern. See, and you get 1 2 3 4. small piece of the song. The song's fairly long, but it's going to give you a piece of it. Behold, there is magic all around you. Behold, there is magic all around you. Behold, there is magic all around you. Awaken, rejoice and sing. I am the air around you. I am the spirit of life within you. I am the wind blowing through you. I am all that I am. And so forth. As you can probably figure, there's 3 more verses: fire, water, earth, and then again it flows out. But that is again another song attached to the heartbeat. Okay. Now I want to introduce it, and those are semi-triplets. Those are notes done in 3s. Okay, but these are with 3 eighth notes: bum bum bum, eighth, bum bum bum, eighth. So it's pretty straightforward. Now I'm going to bring up another pattern. Give me just a second to pop that on. Transition. Okay. There's another song called Thunder Beans. And this is interesting because it has 3 patterns that overlap. Now we're talking again about the what makes African style percussion so cool is polyrhythm. You have a bunch of things going on. I'm just going to show you here the junjun, the jimbei, the lead drum, and the bridge, which illustrates some concepts that'll be helpful. Now here's our triplet pattern, which is just basically it's bass, 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 space. Okay, so it's gun, 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 gun. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Gun, 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 gun. Okay, bass, bass, space, space, bass, 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 nothing, space, 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 silence. Okay, that's the bass, and that's the bass line for the song. Okay, I could play it on the taiko, on any drum. Okay, I can pop it up. I can bring it up on the frame drum. Take my thumb. And that's your bass line. When we play the song, that goes through the entire thing. Okay, and now for the lead players, we'll be playing this one. Okay, now that looks a little bit different, and this is a variation of a heartbeat, but it's a little quicker. You see over here you've got a pair of basses, and you've got 3 tones, basses, 3 tones. Okay, so gun gun go do go, gun gun go do go. And notice it's quicker than the bass line because it'd be boom boom boom. Okay, and so what happens with that is you have this. This is a triplet. 3 paired notes. Bom bom tek tek bom bom tek tek bom bom tek bom bom tek tek. Okay, now. I've told the story a lot, but I'm going to tell you all. I grew up in an age when one of the big cool things about Sunday, which is before Disney came on, was Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom. And I forget the guy's name, but there was always Jim. I didn't. Marlon Perkins, right, was in the studio, and Jim was out on location in the bush. He'd be the guy who'd be running from gorillas and being snapped at by alligators or pursued by lions or what have you, or being wrapped up by a giant snake. How's it going there, Jim? It's just for fun. It's beautiful. You should just eat in my face. Okay. I thought it was one of the coolest shows ever, because we didn't have anything like that in Coney Island in the 60s. Okay, so every once in a while you'd have one of those scenes where you have like a leopard or a panther like crawling through the bush, and there'll be a herd of these things like either springbok or wildebeest or some grass munching thing, we'd be just hanging out, and then and Jim would be off, and then all of a sudden the panther or the leopard or whatever would just go bonk out, and we go chase, and all these things would go dashing off, and the leopard is chasing after him with his tail all flapping out behind him, and they'd play, and you'd hear a rhythm something like this. Okay, and yeah, that was, and the reason for that, I'm not sure if this is true or not. I heard it once. I've never heard it before. There is an orisha in the Yoruba tradition called Ogun. Ogun is not necessarily associated with the drum. He's more of iron and metal and the crossroads and things like that. However, his energy is about don't feel sorry for yourself. Get up, get off your ass, get your spear, go get your lunch. Okay, he was not the sit home, be contemplative. He was all about initiative and motivation, and go do what you need to do. And so this rhythm, I'm told, is connected to Ogun. Okay. And it's very important that you basically play it bass, tone, tone, tone. Okay, a lot of people, when they first try to learn this, they'll play it bass, tone, 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 bass, tone, 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 tone. That ain't it. That talks to a different deity, and some different thing will happen. Okay, maybe your house burned up. So Shango is finicky about that. Okay, or maybe your sister starts taking the clothes off. That would be Oshun. But that said, okay, so you play your two basses, one and two and. Generally speaking, go ahead, lead hand, hit both basses with the same hand, alternate, 1, 2, 3. A lot of people try to be okay, and get all three of those first notes off your lead hand. You can do that. If you can make the same sound and you can get away with it, fine, but it's not the best way of doing this rhythm. So it's bass tongue. We'll do it twice. Once kind of slow, once at speed. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's take it up a little bit at speed. So remember, bass, tone, tone, tone. About this tempo. I'm going to bring up another piece. Okay, this is the bridge. Now, If you take a look at it, it's not that much different, but it's pretty filled in. So what you have, okay, got an 8th, 16th, 16th, 8th, 16th, 16th, 8th, 16th, 16th. Okay, and then a 16th tiny gaps. Okay, so basically we've taken out the second bass. We've taken out that's that bass. Fill it in with tones. So it's double triplets. Bum 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 bum. Bum ticka 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 bum ticka ticka. Okay, so. It's just right, left, right, left, right, left. Okay, and that tempo is about the same as the previous rhythm. So basically they should fit together. So you can see them overlapped. You're just basically adding one stroke and changing the second. And changing the second bass to a tone. Okay, that's just a little easier to deal with. Nope, didn't get that. There it is. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to play 4 of the main line, and then one of the bridge, and then 4 of the main. Stop making it complicated. Stop that. Let's just play some of this, and then we'll do the changeover. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Remembering this is use a mnemonic. Cinnamon applesauce, cinnamon applesauce, cinnamon applesauce, cinnamon applesauce. Okay. Now I'm not used, and you can also use the use Baba's mnemonics. Okay. Gun gun for basses, go do for tones, for slaps. Ow. Okay. Gun gun go do. That has the advantage of it sounds like what you're playing. Gun gun, gun gun, go go, and that gives us this concept that we call, if you can say it, you can play it. And it's a way of getting your brain and your hands working together. Okay, by getting the mouth in between, hands, mouth, brains, mouth, hands, not hands, mouth, brain. And that's my brain messing with me, because mine's a terrible thing. But we try to get them to do stuff for us. So bass, bass. Okay. So bass. There it is. Now that worked. Now it's the same length as the other part that we were playing before. Bass, bass. So they fit nice together. Now in the song, what this has done is that you play the main line through the song itself, and then you use the bridge to connect the two. The verses and the chorus, and you restart. Okay, and so that will look like this. We're going to do 3, then 1. Remember now, a pattern is that's 4 counts, and that's 4 counts. So 1, 2, 3, and. Okay, so you can see how how nice and makes a nice rhythmic shape. In the meantime, that 3-beat don 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 is going on all the time. Let's see, 7:49. I'm gonna go grab a web page and show it to you just a second. Give me a moment or two to get my silly Shango Percussion.org. A lot of this stuff is on the Shango website, and I'm gonna go fetch that for you in just a second. Okay, so let's get that nice and big. All right, let's go to the live screen, to the live screen. Display, nope, okay, live screen. And that's going to be ugly for just a moment, then I'm going to transition out. Okay, that is the Shango website, shangopercussion.org. If you want to get some of this material, I haven't recorded except on the live stream, and also last week's live stream is here at resources. And if you get down to rhythms and notation, oops, I'm sorry, I want recordings and documents, so sorry. Okay, get down to simple beginner rhythms and simple to complex rhythms, down the page. In documents. Okay, we've got here rhythm exercises, heartbeat rhythms, and drum songs. And if you go down here, there's are the lyrics to Let the Way Be Open, Behold, and Thunder Beans. And Thunder Beans is here. Let me just pop the viewer open. Okay, and there are the lyrics. Lyrics, you can go and get that. Okay, so basically, after this, you can go get that. And I had created also a PDF of all this content. There it is, heartbeat rhythm. Okay, basic 2/4, the 2/8, the very hard one, and this set. And so you see how the pieces fit together. I'm going to come back and show you that in just a second. Let me go back to OBS. I'm going to transition back, and let's get my overlays. Turn it on first, then get your overlays. Bam. And so here's the whole. That's the whole piece. You see down at the bottom is our bass line. At the top is our main line, and in the middle is the bridge. And so if you get a bunch of people together, we could do it all, and I could show you the song. Those of you who may have seen Four Winds Earth Chorus's CD from back in the day. Okay, well, wait a second. All right, hard to see URL. Give me a sec. I'm gonna bonk it right up here. Okay, this will take me just a second. Be right with y'all. Back. And just bear with me for just, I hate Firefox changed how they organized their, okay. And bang, there it is. Okay. Just make sure you all got that. Okay. All right, I'm going to take that off my screen. I want to talk about a different, about filling in a rhythm to give it some life and energy. So I'm going to show you a thing called 2/4. That's one of our root rhythms, and you can play that with and without a heartbeat. So there we go. 2/4, one of the more basic rhythms on the planet. Okay, you'll hear this and variants of it in places. Because I want to talk about drum fills. Now, so as I say, okay, the first part of the rhythm is right there is bass, tone, tone, bass, tone. That could be a slap if you want to make it a little more interesting. Slaps are tricky. Just a quick review. Here's our bass tone right in the center. section of the drum. Got our tones here on the outer third played with this part of the hand. Then you've got your slap, which is trickier. You're coming down at about a 45-degree angle to the drum rim. This pad is striking just about here, just slightly off the rim, not the metal part, okay, and not on here because it just goes flunk, just off, and your fingertips just flap down and blip the drum and bounce off. Okay, and it makes a sharp underlined sound, and that gives rhythms a little bit more punch, but it's harder to do. It's a little more subtle and it takes practice, and it's, for most beginners, it can be frustrating as but then when you get it, it's like, yeah, I got that. Okay, this is pretty good. Okay. You can always spot the Jimbei cowboy because he's playing non-stop slaps in the drum circle because he just learned how to do it and is like so happy with himself. Guilty, been there. So it's my sympathies and we understand. Okay, that's it. Hey, Vinny, what's up? Okay, so again, the 2/4 pattern is a root rhythm, and to break down, loosen up, it has both a Middle Eastern and an African kind of variant. Okay, but the simplest is bass tone tone bass tone bass tone tone bass tone. That's it. Bass tone tone bass tone. And that's just the first half. In the second half, we're adding another tone just in there. Okay, you can play all the tones as tones, or you can play that end slap just to give it some life. Now there's some certain drum logic going on here. Now, one of the simple ways of playing this is to just, with your dominant hand, just play a bass tone. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now you play that in between tone, here, here, and here, with your recessive hand. So if you got this going on, that gives you is, if you assume a right left, you can fill in all those gaps like there and there, there and there, and at the end with tones or slaps or whatever you like. So let's say I pocket at the beginning. away 3 and 4, what are we back to? Someone please write heartbeat in the chat. That way I know you're paying attention. Show you what that looks like filled in so you get a mental picture of the shape of it. There it is. Good girl, Miss Tam. Okay, I've taken out the slaps to make it a little less complicated. Now you see that the rhythm line completely filled in with 16th notes. Okay, bass tone, 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 bass tone, 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 bass tone, 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 bass tone, tone, tone. Okay. And you can play or leave, and in this pattern you can play or leave out any of them. So let's say go. In that case, I played the bass, bass tone, 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 bass tone, tone, tone. Okay, so you can morph it and change it however you want. And this is an easy way of knocking off a quick solo in a rhythm. If you're in a drum circle and it comes out to a solo and you're playing a bass rhythm, the easiest way to make a variant for a solo is to fill in or take away. If I go with the common rhythm fanga, bass tone tone tone, bass bass tone tone, and I fill it up. So basically, I'm not changing the shape of the rhythm. I'm just adding and subtracting pieces out of it just to make it sound a little different. Easy way. Or you can reduce it. So hopefully I've given you something to worry your brain a little bit, to wrap your head around. Want to talk a little bit briefly for you more serious drum heads, those of you with smartphones or DLSRs or ambition, or just like myself, cognitively impaired flying rodent guano, batch it and sing. Let me go get the other page. Give me just a second. Dump, dump. Okay. Okay, we're done. Display. Transition. And okay. That is Corona Matsuri. That is my crazy ass project called Corona Matsuri Uplift. There is a Japanese song called Matsuri Daiko, which is festival drum. The bass line of that song is 2/4, which I was just playing with. And so what I'd like people to do, if you're feeling excited about it, is to go ahead, go to the page. It's Shango Percussion, Corona Matsuri, HTML, copy, paste, bang. Okay. And essentially, I'm going to collect video of people playing with the bass track I've already recorded. If I go down here, let's see, basic Matsuri Daiko track. track. Okay, play it, listen to it, then play with it, record yourself, send me the video. Instructions are, the arrangement is here, instructions are here. Here, and I've got a Google Drive folder and a Dropbox folder. You can drop stuff in, you can just fling stuff at me via email, that's fine. All right, and I want to make basically a mashup drum video of us having some fun together. So whatever you got, and you don't have to play taiko or jimbei or frame drum. You can bang on a box. I don't care. You got a flute, something that goes with it. Jonas sent me some wonderful marimba stuff. There's a video here on the YouTube channel. So while I'm thinking about that, I should go. Okay, this will take. Oh, come on! Broadband. That's broadband. You're looking at broadband. Okay. Look at that. This live stream is actually on the front page. Cool. Bump. Okay. Anyway, on Samurai Art Guide, there it is. It's on the Shango Percussion. On the Shango Percussion playlist. Thank you. My face works. It's fine. Everything's okay. Is the introduction. If I can explains more about how it fits together and how it works. I'm not gonna play the whole thing because it's 8 minutes long, and you can go there on your own power. So I just wanted to put that out there for you. Okay. Transition. Webcam. Let's get rid of. We don't need that right now. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to finish up. I'm going to. It's already a little bit after 8. I'm going to play through Thunder Beans one time for you folks with the song, just once because we're already running a little late, just so you get a sense of how what it sounds like. So here we go. And if you have a drum, if you have a noisemaker at hand, please feel free to throw in. You're welcome to be on. You're welcome to be on board. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Ashe, Ashe. Ilgu Ashe. Wopila tanka. Thank you very much. Arigato gozaimasu. Everybody, drum safe. Keep practicing. Stay safe out there. I'm looking forward to the day when we can all get back into drum circles and play together and not worry about dripping sweat on each other. Hoping that comes sooner than later. I'm beginning to get stir crazy here in the box. It's been 2 months plus now. You, me, and everybody else. But we pray for the health of all the people. We sing. We keep the heartbeat alive. We lively ourselves up. And hope to see you all again. I'll probably be back here next week. We normally have a community drum circle in Berkeley Springs on the third Monday. We haven't been able to the last 2 months. So we'll probably be back here online. Maybe Tracy will host, or maybe I'll host. Doesn't what, but we'll do something next Monday at 7. In the meantime, stay safe, be well. Thank you for being here. Ashe, matakuya sen, arigato gozaimasu. Wopila tanka. Good night.